What are fixed versus variable expenses? I get this question a lot, so I figured I'd make a video to explain and provide some clarity if you need it. So fixed expenses are going to be predictable and they do not change, or they don't change by much. You know you have to pay these every month. You have to budget for them. You have to pay for them, and they're usually around the same amount. Variable expenses are going to be more irregular, and you can create sinking funds for these. That's what I do. That way you can pull from that for these irregular, not consistent expenses that happen. So I'm going to give some examples of both. And these are just some examples I could think of, some that I use. You can use whatever works for you. So fixed expenses are going to be things like rent, your car payment, any debt payments that you make monthly, your utilities. Even though your utilities can change a little bit from month to month, you still know that you have to pay those and you can kind of average it out. Your phone bill, your internet, your gym membership, property taxes, if you pay those, these are all fixed expenses and they all are predictable. You know they're coming and you can easily budget for them. Your variable expenses are going to be a little more irregular. They're going to be not consistent, and some of these things just pop up out of nowhere, and you want to have funds set to the side. That's why I make them sinking funds in most cases. I make grocery a sinking fund. That's what I do. Do what works for you. If you want to have that as a fixed expense, you go right ahead. Shopping, pet expenses, things like car repairs. So if something breaks on your car, you want to have a fund set to the side already where you can pull from. Car expenses are expensive. Medical expenses. If you do not have health insurance, I would really encourage you to make a sinking fund for medical. It doesn't have to be thousands of dollars in there. Just contribute what you can when you can, but you're going to be glad for that if you get sick and have to go to the doctor, especially if you don't have insurance. Beauty and self-care is another one. Kids' activities. This is a huge one for me because my kids are in multiple sports. School activities are expensive. I always keep a fund and I contribute when I can. And then birthdays and occasions. You want to be able to buy gifts or go to dinner. These are just some examples. These are not a total list. Like I said, do what works for you personally. And you can think of anything you want on here. If you want to make grocery a fixed expense, that's totally fine. If you want to set up a bunch of different sinking fund accounts to have separate accounts, that's also fine. Just do what works for you. But let me know in the comments what sinking funds you use. I want to know. I'm curious. I hope this helps. Have a good one.